Hey guys, welcome back to the Alpha Beta Kappa podcast, episode 5, where we just have an amazing time together, just 3 boys in a tiny room talking about love and
talking about whatever we want, buddy. I am the alpha.
Oh, nice. Manny coming in with the zinger.
That is so cute.
I'm Jake the Kappa.
Oh shit, I'm Brandon the Beta back.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode. If you are new to the Alpha Beta Kappa podcast, we are streaming on Spotify, the podcast app, and YouTube. You can find us at our Twitter at ABK_pod. And that's all we have. Talk to you guys on the next episode.
Right,
I want to do a mini series where we just do like 30-second episodes.
It's like, hello, goodbye.
Hello, goodbye.
Those are so consumable.
Well, we're going to have a lot of audience retention.
Yes.
And our views are going to skyrocket. People are going to see a 10-second video and they're going to go, oh, I'll finally listen to this
I'll watch
podcast.
Yeah, this alpha beta.
So at the end of all of our episodes, we set goals for ourselves to achieve by the next episodes. And if we do not achieve those goals, they are tacked on to new goals we decide at the end of our podcasts. So I don't know who wants to start with their goals to reiterate them and then tell the audience if you achieve them or not. Somebody take the floor. I'm freaking nervous, dude. I'm tweaking out right now.
Tweaking out.
Oh my God, Manny.
I forgot we were on the podcast for a second.
So my 2 goals were one, to lose 4 pounds. That I did. And then the other one was to get my short story figured out and written. I'm going to give myself that one. Like, I did it. Like, I wrote, like, the meat and potatoes. I didn't, write the dialogue or anything.
Yeah.
But, like, I have a story. And I went over to Manny. We talked about it. I like it. It's pretty dope. So
It's dope. I'm stoked. And we got to talk to you about it, too, after this.
I hate it.
Oh.
I hate it because I can't hear it.
Yeah, we're going to have to switch some things up in the story then. Okay, so those are your 2?
Yeah.
Your 2 things, and you did them?
Yeah, I did them.
I thought we all had 3.
No, he
Was
had
I
2
tripping?
because he succeeded with
It was the routine one. Yeah,
I forget. Okay.
I'm ahead of the ball game right now, guys.
I know, damn.
I mean, I'm going to pick the silver lining here.
Okay.
I'm going to say part of your goal was to pitch it to me and Manny.
You want? Oh, okay.
I mean, hey,
do you want me
dude,
to pitch it to you right
You
now?
want to pitch it here?
I mean, you have 2 minutes. You're
All right.
on the clock. Go.
Oh, crap. Put me on the spot.
This is what producers do. You walk in and you pitch something. They don't have time, my friend.
Okay, so there's this guy or girl, doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
there's this
2019.
person. And this person has been researching like these disappearances of this location, of this area that got burned down or some catastrophe. And, people of his inner circle have gone missing and, he's packing them ready to go. And so he gets to this location. It's all like barren and burned or whatever. And he's walking in what used to be the remnants of a house. And he sees these key items that he picks up. And every time he picks up a key item, it shifts his perspective into the past. And so while he's there, he's reminiscing like of this area when it happened, and then he sees this girl walk by. Or he hears it first. Second time he sees her walk and he's like chasing her. And every time he pursues her, he gets shifted back into the present. And so on the last one, he picks up this photo, and the photo is an old burnt family photo, and he gets warped back in, and then he sees the girl. And then they have this like long heart to heart, and she wants him to stay. So right now we're thinking, she wants him to stay in the past. And he's like, no, I can't, things like that. He's like, I can't stay with you. You're gone. And then, so she's like, no, you have to stay. And then he turns and walks away, and like she grabs him, and he gets shifted back into the present. And so, but then you figure out that this girl is like a ghoul or a ghost that has been haunting the grounds. And he didn't go between the past and present. An illusion was being made every time by the girl.
Oh, okay.
And so the girl is, this specter who lures people in and kills him because kills them, and because when you see the illusion is demystified, there's like corpses and stuff on the ground, and then he runs away, and stuff happens, and then it goes to black, and then another person who knew him wants to go and find him, so it's kind of like a cyclical thing.
Oh, okay. It's a never ending.
It's a never ending thing. Yeah,
it just shows them like keep repeating, like, oh, okay, this is gonna keep happening.
Okay.
It's like think like if we were to think about how like this like visually think like Silent Hill esque.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's you know what would be interesting is doing a kind of film like that, but there's this video and it's the what's the game called? Is it the one that was never released, the Silent Hill one?
PT?
Yes, PT. And there was this video made, and it was a very short video, and it was just amazing. And they did that whole repetitive thing. It was the same set. Like, it was the same set. They did the repeating, and they did it beautifully, and something was new every time. That would be kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to use this as an example, but Happy Death Day, it's a cycle like that, but in a shorter film sense. So maybe what happens is he maybe is solving a mystery.
Right.
And you find that out very quickly, whether it's just text in the front because it's a short film. You don't have time to really,
get into it too much.
Explain character development and whatnot. And so he goes to this crime scene and he's figuring out, what happened. And then the apparition, obviously shows itself and things keep happening and happening. But every time the apparition touches him, he starts over.
Oh, okay.
But he starts to remember little things, right? Just like Happy Death Day. She starts to remember little things, but people around him don't. And that would be kind of an interesting twist on that. Therefore, it gives the character more motive.
Right.
Because that is really the only semi-flaw that I hear in it is the character doesn't have a lot of motive. And if he doesn't have a lot of driving action, then I don't have a lot of investment into that character.
Yeah.
So and also it would be kind of cool is maybe he's not an investigator. Maybe what had happened is there's a family member that went missing in this area.
Yeah.
And he soon finds out that things have happened in this area, but he finds out by going through this repetitive process.
Right. I don't know if he mentioned it. Sorry to cut you off, but it was like his house that burned down. So it's his house that burned down, and he's going through the rubble. And there's like a bunch of his old stuff that's burnt. Like the picture he found was like an old picture of his family. Yeah. And it's like broken, whatever. And when he gets into that dimension of like the past, like now he's seeing the past, like when he was in the house, it's like the picture's all normal because he's like in that illusion that, oh, this used to be your house and now it's burned down.
Yeah, I see. I like it, but again, it doesn't. To me, there's no. Okay, well, this character needs to do this, right?
Right.
Right.
It'd be more of a factor if the character has a reasoning or a reason to go and find something.
Right.
If it's his house that burned down, it's burned down.
Yeah.
Right. Why are you going
back?
If it's to figure out where somebody is and somebody went missing, or maybe there's a very specific item that he's looking for that maybe he knows will mend or mesh the ethereal realm with the real realm.
Yeah.
And he knows about it. And then it gets a lot more like sci-fi if you take that route. But I feel like there needs to be this oh shit. Okay. Now he's got to redo all this again. Yeah. And then you find out like he goes there and he's like, okay, I already know this is here. I know I have to do this to get to that point, but how do I get to this? Which makes it very complicated. But when it's done right, I think Happy Death Day is a real silly movie, and I don't think by any means it's a great movie, but it's so properly written that you don't get lost. You always know where she is and what she's doing, and the repetitiveness doesn't feel repetitive. It feels right.
Right.
That's where I feel like this story can go. So I do like it though. And we're kind of suckers for the whole like apparition kind of shit anyway.
Yeah.
And it falls under what we like to film and whatnot. So that'd be cool to elaborate more on. But,
that'd be dope. I like that.
Yeah. Dude, you achieved your goal now.
Thank you. When I was thinking of this, like what shots can we do that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, I was talking to him, like him going there is like a drone shot of like, a car. Just because like those shots are always pretty fucking cool.
It's literally the same shot we're about to do for our other film.
I told him that's what we were talking about, that we want a shot kind of on a windy road drone shot.
Well, you know what I see opportunity for this, and this is like a big, hey dude, layers of fear. Thank you.
Yeah.
That fucking idea of the rotating camera and the set changes.
Yeah.
You know what does it is Velvet Buzzsaw on Netflix, the Jake
Oh,
Gyllenhaal
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Dude, they do probably one of the best rotating camera effects or set changes I've ever seen in my life. And I know like a bunch of films have done it. This one is a whole altar to a background. And it's a pretty quick pan. So I know that the moving parts behind it are absolutely insanity. But it is the best rotating camera effect set change I've ever seen in cinema.
I wonder if there's like a behind the scenes. That'd be dope.
That'd be so sick. I mean, I hope Netflix puts out like I actually think it'd be sick if Netflix put out a big BTS of all of our originals or some of our originals that you guys like. And this is how, they all kind of look compared to each other. It'd be interesting to do.
Yeah,
but
we should pitch them and we should go from BTS.
Yeah, dude, it'd be awesome. Hey, Netflix. No, I do like that idea. And that's one thing I think of when I think of the repetitive process is maybe the set changing. And what would be cool in a forest is maybe it's not so much set changing. It's, I think it'd be sick if maybe the camera moves in front of the character and he goes out of frame and it loops around him and comes back and he's in different clothing. And you realize like, oh, okay, he's in a different day doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
But he's obviously in different clothing. And it's just some way to kind of manipulate the idea.
Yeah. And there was other like shots that we were thinking of too. Do you remember? So you remember in The Ritual, the Netflix one with the British people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You remember that scene? I think they do it like 2 or 3 times where he's like in the forest and like out is the supermarket. Yeah. But behind him is the like kind of melding.
Oh, two different sets together. That's so sick.
That like that'd be cool if we can find some way to kind of do that.
Yeah.
And like that's the end, the culmination of this film. Like these two sets are meshing, and he's like,
and then that'd be cool if maybe he realizes in that moment that he's stuck between them.
Yeah.
And there's no now reality or ethereal. It's all one thing.
Yeah, it's all
and
one thing.
he ends up ends up being a trap because it's kind of like a nice, easy way to get out of ending this story with something that's more extravagant. Yeah. Because there's obviously like, budgets that go into this stuff and we don't have that much to flesh out to all that stuff.
Right.
Especially extravagant sets. So to do it to where it's like that would be kind of interesting. No, that's cool. I actually like that idea. And that right there is kind of how we talk about our films. Yeah. If anybody's ever interested, there's a lot more that goes into it, but I don't want to get too off track because that was just the goal. And that's something we'll talk about off podcast. But I do like the idea. Cool. And dude, you achieved your goal. Wow, you got a clean slate?
Yeah, clean slate.
You bastard.
You mother.
Dude, we're going to be like 9 deep and he's just going to have his normal. All right, Manny, go ahead.
Oh, God. Okay, so I did the water thing for sure. I drink too much water. I'm still bloated.
Nice.
What was the other one? Okay, so I had a water, movie at night. Possible. I'm saying it right now. It is impossible.
It is not impossible.
I tried. And I would... And like, cause there was like 1 or 2 nights where I would just turn on a movie and go to bed, but I was like, this isn't even benefiting me at all. So I'm not gonna fucking do it. If I'm not gonna watch it, I'm not gonna put it on because I'm not gonna watch it.
Hey,
and there's no point. So, I mean, I might just have to keep doing that just to get it out. But I don't know, it's not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to actually watch the movie at night.
I didn't say it.
I know, I messed up. So now, okay. So I still have to do that. I drink water. Then the eating out, I ate out.
I know, and I called you out on it.
Yeah. I was taking Shelby out on a date and we went to Olive Garden. She had a long week. She deserved our Olive Garden.
And you know what I told Manny? I said, there's other ways to have a date. And he goes, I know.
No, yeah, there's plenty of ways, but yeah.
I have something to say about that later, but
and then, okay, I think that was it. I think that was my 3. So I still need to do that. And
it was the not going out and eating thing.
Yeah. That and then the movie. And then I got to tack on another one today.
Yeah.
So at the end of the podcast.
I know.
So
yeah, I forget that this podcast is shitty.
Yeah, we can always
make my life stressful.
Turn it off.
So my 3 goals were the water, the 8 gallons of water, the 3 models, and then the not hitting snooze on my alarm, I believe was it.
Yes.
So I didn't hit snooze on my alarm.
Good.
Did do that one. That was good. That one was easily achievable. The gallons of water, I was gone for a week in Oregon. I honestly probably drank less water than I fucking do when I'm sitting at home.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What the? You would think more.
You would think, right? And you know what's funny is I was offered so much water, and I told every single person that gave me water, I said, I don't feel like I need it right now.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like I need it.
You said,
still living?
Yeah, I am.
I
still
bought a
living.
bottle of gin. I don't need your water.
No, I did, but like I drank, I just drank things more along the lines of like tiny ass Gatorades here and there.
Right.
But I really didn't. I didn't really consume a lot of liquids. Period. I mean, to me, the hikes we did up there were very easy.
Were they?
And they weren't. There was very few of them we did that were longer than a couple miles, but it was spread out between days. And then the other ones were very short. And I mean,
I feel like that is Oregon. They're like just more scenic routes.
Yeah, I mean, we've been to Oregon, so we know how it is.
I think it's more scenic routes than like these tedious fucking hikes.
And so I was like, I mean, I don't feel like I even did a lot for me. So I didn't do the 8 gallons. That's, the grand scheme of things. And I didn't do the 3 models. Again, I was gone for a week in Oregon, so that already put like kind of a tough situation. So I still have to do those 2. But I did do no snoozing on the alarm.
No snoozing.
So, I mean, hey,
you banged one out.
Everybody achieved something.
Yeah.
There we go.
And that's
what's
good.
important.
Because, for a bit, it was rough. But no, I think, so the 8 gallons of water thing, definitely no excuse for this next stretch. It's got to happen.
Right.
It's got to happen this next stretch. I have time.
You can do it. I believe in you.
There's no, there's nothing happening to where I'm in the situation where I can't do it or I can't bring a gallon somewhere with me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuses this time. You guys can, I don't know, beat me up.
Oh, hell
if
yeah.
I don't do it.
All right. You said it. You heard it here on the podcast. We're going to kick Brandon's ass.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. So
Okay,
I'll just give
his
you a nice long hug.
I'll give him one of these.
I really don't want that either. So you best bet your ass I'm getting it done now. I don't know. You said you had something to say about his eating. I don't know.
So like I'm gonna say this in a way that doesn't come off super disrespectful.
You can come off disrespectful.
Right there,
Yeah,
you're
say
about
it.
to come off disrespectful.
No, because we've
Well,
already talked about using words and phrases like that.
Yeah. So just don't
I'm a
tiptoe.
fucking
He
son of a
opened
bitch
up
for
with
that.
like, hey, I don't want to say you're ugly, but
Yeah.
damn, you looking
Damn,
good
you're
today.
ugly. So why don't you find other things to do than go out to eat?
Well, we only went out once.
Well, I know, but like,
So it was easier. It was just like that day it was a long day. We could do it. We did it. We had Olive Garden. So it's not that hard. That was just like a random
okay.
Olive Garden trip.
Okay.
But that's the only time we ate out, other than when we went to Red Robin's, actually. Totally forgot about that. But other than that, yeah.
He's like, other than Olive Garden.
Other than Red
and
Robin.
and then we went to Downtown.
Down south.
And then...
Kind of adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I thought it was only one.
I did the one in the beginning when right after the podcast I did one.
Dude, I
then-
saw that and I was
yeah.
like, God damn, go literally go play pool.
Yeah.
Sit and I go and play pool so fucking much, and it's just like get out and do something other than eat because you could eat at home, right?
Right.
You never need to actually go out and buy
You're gonna
food.
say play pool at home.
I can't.
You have a pool table?
You have a
No,
pool table?
no.
I don't have a pool table.
We sold it.
Then
I've-
why'd you
I've-
bother saying that?
I was gonna buy him one. It was a surprise, but now you guys ruined it, so I'm not gonna buy him one now.
Shit.
All right, then don't.
Honestly,
It was
I
for
don't
the
think I
vlog.
have room for a pool table.
I don't think
As
you have
much-
room for anything.
As much
to
as
be
I
honest.
really, really want one, I don't think I
We'll
have
put it in the
room.
backyard.
Well, the
Yeah.
backyard would be cool, but then the felt might get a little messed up. You know what? I will take an air hockey table. That's cool.
I know, but the surprise is gone.
Yeah, but surprise for billiards table's gone. But
But see, but now we're talking about it. It was gonna be for the vlog. I
why
wanted
don't
a
you
good
just
reaction.
build me like a skating ring?
See, but now you said it.
Fuck, I'm
Nothing's
really
a surprise.
I'm digging myself a big hole right now.
Stop saying stuff, and maybe I can do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe a Tesla. Ah, dang it!
Damn it, no, I didn't
said
say that
it.
one.
I know, but I did.
So I gotta say, on my drive, back from Oregon, I have never seen so many big rigs pulling Teslas in my
Oh, really?
fucking life. And I realized kind of
It's getting crazy.
And I realized in that moment that I forgot Teslas are delivered to people's door.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is like, oh my God, dude. Cars are now being delivered to your front door. The world we live in it's too easy. It's honestly too fucking easy. And I realized, and this is getting into my next tangent, is that I'm gonna tangent right now, but I'll get back to what I'm saying. Is those videos that have been coming out a lot lately, and it's for some reason America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah,
I don't know if Simon Cowell's on America. It's America's Got Talent.
He's on both of them. I think.
He's on both of them. And it's these kids that come out and they have some sort of disability or something, and or something in that realm, and they come out and they're playing like they're playing the music or some sort of music. Usually,
are you referring to like not specifically, but the blind autistic kid with the piano?
Him for one, and then the recent one who did he played the violin. It's the one that just dropped.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that one? Oh my God,
I haven't seen that one.
No.
Oh God, I'm an emotional wreck. No, but so this kid, I can't remember exactly what, or if he even had a disability. I kind of skimmed through the first part of the video because
But you cried anyways?
Well, no, because he talked about bullying. And I did hear that part. And he said he was bullied at school. And I think it was because of disability. But again, I didn't hear the first part. So sorry, don't come at me if I'm wrong. But he was talking about that and the bullying and whatnot. And then he plays the violin and he's doing it like, I don't know if you guys know Lindsay Sterling.
You showed me.
So sick. She's a dope violinist. And she plays and she moves a lot. That's her thing. And so this kid comes out and he's just jamming. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, this kid is fucking Lindsay Sterling. That's exactly who he is. And then he does this thing after where he's done. Everybody's clapping. And Simon talks and he says, you know what? I have a message for all the bullies out there. And he goes and he presses like the gold buzzer, which is an automatic. You're going
like to the is it semifinals?
I don't know how far it is.
Going to be on the show.
Listen, I just know it's fucking pretty when it happens.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Tears.
It's so beautiful. And wait, what happened? It's after, or you're not talking about the same thing? Oh, it's still. Oh, really? Oh,
whoa,
shit!
Really? Damn!
Really? Holy shit! The last show.
Hey, if you ever think that you have talent and you're good at something, just go watch that. You're like, oh, I suck at everything I do.
Anyway, but also the blind autistic kid is another reason I'm kind of going back to what I was originally talking about. I was seeing those Teslas, and I have this every now and then when I just see things. It could be small or it could be the larger scale, like the America's Got Talent things. And dude, I sat there and I was like, everything is so easy. And in that moment, I really, really just appreciated everything I had, every little thing. The fact that, like, for example, this camera, it's my 60 Mark II that I got for Christmas. My parents completely paid for it. So fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So incredible. And the fact that I look at it and I don't always think that, hey, you know what? My parents just bought that for me, and I'm just using it as my career. No, dude, it is so much more. And I see those Teslas and I see these kids doing that thing and all this stuff happening. And I'm like, wow, dude, like there's so much to be grateful for. And I can't believe that there are times when I think I have it rough because I don't. I have it so goddamn easy. Granted, there's a lot of work to be done.
Right.
And especially in the field we're in, the art industry is very competitive. There's a lot of work to be done. But dude, everything you have is so easily accessible. And there's never, ever a reason to think that, oh man, I got it rough. Right. Because you probably don't. Dude, a blind autistic kid played the fucking piano. You got it all right, okay? And there was just like, it was in that moment and I just thought about it and that was my tangent. But I don't know, dude. It was a very fulfilling moment because I became, it's going to sound really fucking, but I became super zen and I realized that, dude, like everything's fine.
Like whatever you got going on, like it's minute compared to what others have going on.
And you know what else I thought is it's that big. I'm 24. We're all 24. But it was that thought that, oh, I'm 24. I don't have a lot of time. Dude, no, there's so
time in the fucking
much
world, dude.
Time. There's so much time. And all it takes is a second. And all it takes is a certain pair of eyes to see what you're doing and to realize that, oh, that guy's got it. And I think those little things made me realize that more and more. And I just became so confident and very eager to get things done and to really push out good content. And not even that, but maybe to strengthen relationships around me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I am cursed with the idea of I don't ask people to just hang out, but I think that they don't want to. So what I'm saying is that those people may be sitting at home and they think because I'm not asking them that I don't want to. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And so it's like one of those things where I feel like I need to go out now and strengthen relationships with people I don't talk to a lot that I would like to talk to a lot. And just a bunch of things started running through my head. And I really hope I'm not the only one that has these things in this group, because it was a moment. And I was just like, dude, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I gotta go out and I gotta fucking just start just hanging out with people that I don't hang out with and just talking to them and just learning about them. And I don't know, there was just so much that I felt like I needed to do in those moments. And then I cried.
And then you cried. You stopped and you smelled the flowers.
I did.
What you did.
I did. And like life hit me in the fucking face for a second.
You stopped, take a look at everything, and you're just like, holy shit.
I had like an outer body experience.
Yeah.
And then I realized I'm driving. And I didn't remember the last 15 minutes. I did not notice where I was. And I was like, wow, I have 3 people in the car that I could have murdered. But anyway, that was my tangent.
No, that's really cool that you bring that up because I have those moments as well. And it's very fulfilling being able to take a pause and feel and think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there are times where I'm like, I am really lucky,
dude,
with a lot of the things I have in my life and a lot of the things that I fuck up with and like it ends up going right for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I am lucky.
Yeah.
And like I feel sometimes like a piece of crap when I let things get to a certain point. Let me give you an example that's like so small, but like, so you know how I got a ticket not too long ago?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, this was already a year ago. I got this ticket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had to, pay the ticket and do traffic school.
Right.
I still have to do that.
I still have to do my traffic.
And I was like, oh, I have to pay for my ticket.
Yeah.
So I go online and I'm like, it won't let me pay it. And then I'm like, I have to go in person. This is the day that we have to go to Chico.
Oh, shit.
So that Friday morning, I drove to the courthouse and they're like, oh, you were supposed to get this done like a while ago. And I was like, and the traffic school? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, and they're like, look, well, you're fine. Just pay for the ticket.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to extend traffic school for you.
Wow.
And then it's things like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I am really, really lucky because that stuff can go on a larger scale and affect you. Because if you don't pay for the ticket, you could get your license taken away and other big things that like big repercussions.
And then it goes on your record along with your ticket.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, I am so lucky.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments and another few moments along the way that I was like, I need to stop taking shit for granted and things I do for granted and like just really start like diving deep and start committing to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that you're like the people around you and your life become like so much more fulfilled when you take things seriously and you acknowledge how lucky you are and how much you have going on in your life compared to others. Because there's somebody else that probably, fucked up too. Yeah. And then they got the license taken away or something, they don't have it as good as I do. And acknowledging that, I'm like, dude, I'm incredibly grateful for the life that I have and like the people that I have around me. And I'm getting choked up. I'm sorry. Choked up. No, like the path that I set myself on. Yeah. That I'm surrounded, by a lot of things and forces that support me. So that's pretty cool that you brought that up. Cause
I mean, it was also very motivating. Yeah. I got back into town Saturday night, and that Saturday night I was exhausted. I had just finished a 12-hour drive, and you guys were out and you asked me to go out and I said I couldn't because I was just tapped out on driving,
Right.
Which was exactly why I didn't. But I got home and I went after my girlfriend left, I went right to editing. I knew you would. I was so motivated, dude, but so exhausted. But I told myself there is not a second I'm giving up anymore, and I am all in it. It is all that. I'm literally, my eyes are on fire because all I've done is looked at a computer all day for 7-8 hours straight, and I just pumped out content that I didn't think I was going to get out until the next like 4 days or 5 days. And so, but I did it, and my God, dude, I'm going to sound a little self-centered, but I put out some of my favorite pictures today that I ever have.
The sunrise or
sunset?
Sunset. Okay.
That I ever have in my life.
The colors, dude, were so fucking good.
Thank you. But it meant a lot more to me because it was when I was taking them, I already knew. I was like, dude, I cannot wait to get these done, because when I get these done and I get them done in a short time, I'm gonna feel incredibly proud, and it's a beautiful moment, and also I love them. Right. I love them, and it wouldn't matter if somebody said this is the biggest piece of shit you've ever released, dude. I fucking love those photos.
Yeah,
and they're nothing crazy, and that's what I think was the most important thing about it. Is it was a moment. It was multiple moments captured, and just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
looks wise. I don't know that. I probably sounded pretty self-centered there, but it's those fulfilling moments that spawn from seeing those little things and appreciating the little things about your life and what you have. And I feel like, I don't know, we all should just take those moments, and reflect on shit. Don't stare at me often.
We should all here in the group take those same photos with Brandon next time we do.
Oh, and he can hold me and kiss me.
Yes. I think we need to stop and do that.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
It's so. I think I told you guys that I've been talking with the owner of that gym that I go to about training people there.
Yeah.
And I finally got it solidified. Like I can start whenever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking, and he was talking about like their community in the gym, and the community of trainers, because there's only 4 trainers, and so I'll be there's only 4 or 5, so I'll be like the 5th or 6th trainer.
Yeah.
And they're like, and the guy's like, I asked all the trainers like about you, like if it was cool to have you on board, and I was like, kind of stunned by that.
Yeah.
And they all said, they all vouched for you, and they said that you're cool, you know what you're doing, and they have you on board. I felt so good about myself.
Yeah. Those are like higher powers giving you that validation.
Yeah.
That is not required, but glorious when you actually receive it. You needed that. Yeah. Jake would have probably stopped working out had he not had validation. Thank God we missed Cruise, Jake.
Yeah. I just come back.
Okay, that's cool. So, but what I want to know now you're on the hot seat is how or what is the next step? How do you get there? And 3 questions. And how do you get there the quickest?
So the next step is getting clients, and I just get there by asking around. He's like talk with your friends.
Yeah.
And when he said talk to your friends, I'm like, all my friends are fat and I'm lazy, but
fuck that. Lazy yes. I am skinny as hell.
Ideally, like psychologically fat. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
That's why I would. But
you're like, dude, I'm out of a job already.
But he's like, ask your friends, ask around. He's like, and he's like hustle. He's like this.
Yeah.
He's like this gym where he said you can make a lot of money here.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a lot of money because all I ask for you is pay your dues at the beginning of a month, and everything is yours.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a place where hustlers make a name for themselves and make a living. And I'm like, dude, like I got so goddamn hyped.
Don't you love that?
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I already have I already have at least 4 or 5 people in mind that have asked me, and I'm like, just wait.
Yep.
Well, I'm almost there, and like those 4 or 5 people, boom, I'm already making money like that. And like, granted, life is not always about money, but it helps.
Yeah.
and and to get to, that excel point, faster is I just have to consistently keep promoting myself and, have people that I work with or people that are around me, support me in that aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just look, all I ask for is just a shout out, whatever, cause I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And and this is going to come off super self-centered and super cocky, but I'm pretty certain without fail at any commercial gym that you go to out here, at least, that I know a lot more than any of those trainers.
This is interesting then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I did the hand, so you must listen. You must yield to the hand.
Yield to the hand.
So, what do you think is the difference between, and this is a very common question,
mm-hmm.
between cockiness and confidence?
Confidence is something that can be used as a power, for positivity,
mm-hmm.
and things that can, he's very confident about himself and his abilities, and that spreads this positive message or outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Cockiness is kind of counterproductive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like cockiness is you may have the chops to back up what you're saying or what you're doing, but you're coming off in a way where no one really cares. So we'll use me as an example. If we talked about me 2-3 years ago, where I first started working out and I kind of walked around chest super broad, arms swinging around I was in a box.
Yeah.
And that was cockiness. And back then I probably knew quite a bit, but nowhere near as much as I do now. But I was counterproductive. It was counterproductive to act that way and carry myself that way because it helped nobody.
Right.
So now for me, it's confidence, because while I do carry myself with a great amount of confidence and pride, I do it in a way to inspire others that you can, if we work together, I can get you in a space where you can be confident about yourself and and feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
While back then, all for me, it was about the looks, to look this way and to act a certain way. And for me right now, my philosophy in training is to be a better functioning human being, to be a stronger individual, and being healthy as along the way as well. I mean, right now I'm sitting at 17% body fat still, but I'm not really hung up on losing any more weight because I just want to get stronger and I want to be more an efficient lifter, because that's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
That is more important and more sustainable than I just want a 6-pack, because I don't really give a shit anymore about that.
Right.
So.
Okay. No, that's generally my thoughts on it too. I was just curious if we were on the same page. I always say that cockiness is purely for an ego boost.
Yeah.
And then confidence is purely for an intelligence spread, something that is for you and others versus just for you.
Right.
And that is always the kind of silver lining defining factor between those two. I'm just cocky. No confidence here, just cocky. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, that's cool. I'm wondering, what about you? Kind of in the same boat?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way you come off. It's all how you acted, because it's the same thing. And don't look at me. Austin's freaking me out. So how he said, if it's a douchey looking guy, it's probably more cocky because it's all looks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing.
So you think it's a personality trait?
Yeah, it's because essentially it's the same thing. I mean, you're cocky, you're confident. I don't even know how to explain it without using the other word.
Yeah.
So it's just the way you carry it.
Well, that's pretty cocky of you, but
no, confidence. See, it's very close.
See, it's hard to figure it out.
But I feel like there are people that, and these people might come up maybe in such a negative space themselves. They may not see the difference between cockiness and confidence.
Yeah.
Because there are people that do look at it and it's the same to me. But I feel like it's because they lack any form of confidence to see that. I was talking to somebody not too long ago. They're like, you carry yourself, in kind of like this manly, like cocky way. I'm like, oh, it's not cockiness, it's confidence. I'm very confident about who I am as an individual. But I'm not gonna, put myself out there to belittle others due to how I view myself. They're like, oh, well, it's kind of the same. I'm like, it's kind of not, because one is I'm not, again, there to belittle anybody by the way I look or the way I feel about myself. If anything, I want it, to be somewhat inspiring.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people nowadays, with the issues with social media and things like that. There's this constant pressure of wanting to look or even perform, act a certain way.
Yeah.
There's this constant like, hey, you have to be like this. And so
you have to impress.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to, and I feel like people kind of internalize that, and they don't become confident. They become, super shy and reserved and just, like very frail individuals. And it's upsetting to see people like that. And so when they internalize what's going on with them, and then they see others who are in a very good place, they kind of want to attack that.
Yeah.
In a way, so they can almost feel better about themselves.
So do you think it also comes down to a perception thing? So not necessarily the person that is, or for example, me looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe my perception of cockiness is your perception of confidence, and it becomes that kind of external argument where it's like, okay, so that person who said you hold yourself to a high standard, maybe they think that is holding yourself to a high standard, but you don't. Maybe you think, no, this is just where it's supposed to be.
Right.
And that's where it also becomes kind of a problem and in a very gray area.
Right.
Is that both sides may not even have the same idea of what it is. And that's where it's, oh, okay, well, nobody will ever know what the difference really is because it's always different to everybody kind of a situation.
So that goes with that saying, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah. Right.
And if it's hard to combat an opinion with another opinion because you'll never
none of
win.
them are right and none of them are wrong.
So what you can do with somebody is have, in an adult conversation and have a constructive conversation about why they feel a certain way and why you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And you kind of meet in the middle and see where you can relate, because you're not going to make someone feel the same way that you do. So when this person talked to me about it, like, we had a constructive conversation and we met in the middle about it. And I was, we can come to an agreement that whatever the outcome of how I carry myself, it's in a positive manner. So like, it's not, cockiness, right? Now, to the degree of confidence that I have, to what they saw and to what I feel, that varies due to an opinion. Like I carry myself, like let's use numbers here. I carry myself a number as an 8, and they might think, well, you shouldn't carry yourself as a, I don't know, 6 or 7. I'm like, well, I don't really necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
But we can come to an agreement that even though I carry myself in a certain way, it's to inspire, right? So that's the kind of conversation that you have to have with somebody. But if they're not willing to have that conversation, unfortunately, then they're not worth the effort of turning their perspective, because they don't want to they don't want to have that positive outlook yet. They're not ready. I think everybody is in a different place in their journey in life, right? And when someone's ready to have constructive conversations and come to mutual agreements about certain things, that's when you can talk to people about that. And we can have those positive conversations and reach a mutual point.
Yeah.
But not everybody's at that point yet.
Right.
We know several individuals that are nowhere near that point
No.
to have those conversations. So we don't. And they'll always have that negative opinion about you.
Mhm.
Like, you put out your stuff and you may fucking rock your edits and you're like, I love this. And like you said, they might think it sucks. It doesn't suck. They just can't see it in an objective manner.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. I like that. It's just, I don't know, man, people are just interesting things. And I think the most important aspect to kind of look at is that it's a never ending evolution. So it's never going to meet at an end point. It's always going to be changing and people are always going to think differently. There was I don't know. I think I heard this on another podcast and I'm not sure which one, or maybe I didn't hear it and I just heard something that was kind of along the lines, but it was, do you think humans are more valuable now versus 200 years ago? Or do you think we're more valuable or less valuable now than we were versus 200 years ago?
What do you mean valuable?
Valuable as in like, are we now worth more or are we worth less?
100%, we're definitely worth more.
You think so?
I agree.
Okay.
Because and that goes with technology.
Mm-hmm.
So let's use us when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
When we were kids, we were stupid. We were stupid kids. And our parents before us, they were doing stupid shit too, right? But because technology has evolved, humans have evolved too. And if you talk to kids nowadays, because that's in one of the places I work,
yeah,
kids are so fucking smart. Kids have complex conversations, complex emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can understand sarcasm at such a young age now. I didn't know what the fuck sarcasm was until I reached like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And there are first, second graders that understand sarcasm. And that is due to the iPads and the phones and all those other things. So when those kids, they digest all this information and all this content and things like that, they become more valuable because they're already at a better starting point. So we may have started at a 4 and now we, go on from there and our potential reaches up to a 7, right? But now this new generation of kids, these new incoming kids, now their starting point is probably at a 6.
Right.
And then they can get to a 9, right? So that makes that makes humans more valuable in my eyes.
Okay.
Because when you have, a much smarter human, again, they become more valuable.
Yeah.
They can do other things and they can do more things than the generation prior. We have people making crazy technology that are in our age group, are a little older, that's still in the millennial generation, way smarter than anyone else ever was in probably in a previous generation. There's always those outliers in the past, but those are outliers. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a generation like humans as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So you take somebody who was a kid back then, who's an engineer, and they grow up and they're super smart and they build like this really, cool plane.
Mm-hmm.
Now you take another kid, feed them more information at a younger age, right? They have that higher starting point, and they reach and build a better plane when they get older, when they become an engineer. Okay. So that already in itself, if you use that, that logic, humans are more valuable.
Okay, so let me play opposition here.
Okay.
So and I'm not saying I disagree with you. I do and I don't. It just depends. It's a coin flip for me. It's hard, but this is why I'm on both sides. Is so there's always going to be like the forefathers and the people who paved the path, right? So you mentioned planes. We'll talk about the Wright brothers. So do you think that them building that plane when it was never properly done prior to them actually taking flight was more difficult than it is now, or do you think it's equal difficulty? Because to me, I feel like it being something that was never properly done before and with less resources may be more difficult than it is now with more resources.
Mm-hmm.
And without A, you don't have B. A being Wright brothers, and now B being engineers who are building, B-2 bombers and whatnot.
Right.
There's that much larger understanding of airspace and how it works now. So for me, that's why I'm a coin flip, is because I feel like there is equal value.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm playing that middleman, and I don't know if I do think it's more valuable now than it was at one point in the past. I'm kind of stuck in between. But that's my question to you now.
Okay.
Is what makes it more valuable when you dropped your phone during my sentence? Is what makes it more valuable now when it was much more, which I guess it's difficult now, but it feels like it was much more difficult then with less.
So we become fixated on new ideas every time.
Yeah.
And that is the most valuable thing, is the human mind to come up with an idea. So we'll use the Wright brothers, right? For generations and generations previous to them, I can, there's evidence that the thought of humans taking flight was a dream.
Yeah.
And people think that could never happen.
Right. I mean, that even like, Da Vinci and whatnot, there was always,
Exactly. So there was that singular idea,
right?
And there will always be an individual or multiple individuals that'll come together and make that idea come to life.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment in time, when the Wright brothers, made that plane and it was a success,
mm-hmm.
that is a core that is a core moment where value cannot be lost. But then we have to look at ideas and scale them to a bigger picture.
Yeah.
So now planes are in abundance. There's planes everywhere. So now we have to look at a new idea. And so the new idea is space travel, right?
Yeah.
The next thing is, how do we go the speed of light? I'm, giving you a far-fetched thing. I don't think that can ever happen in our lifetime, but this is just an example.
Mm-hmm.
The new idea that seems so far out is traveling the speed of light.
Yeah.
Because humans become smarter and more valuable, they will reach a point where that one person or that group, they figure it out.
Right.
So you have to look at it in a way where the scaling of ideas becomes more valuable.
Okay,
so from a plane to space travel, they're great, moments in time in history, but clearly space travel, from an objective point of view, space travel is definitely like a bigger feat and a more valuable feat to overcome than flying in a plane.
And based on what you're saying, you seem like you're more on the end of adapting quicker and progressing quicker. Correct. Is a better. That's why it makes humans more valuable now. Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree. I mean, dude, you sold me. Whatever, dude. Yeah, I mean,
there's so much exposure now. I think that's the biggest part.
Well, I think
even with like the planes, even planes are developing. Like they're doing so much more.
Right, we have fucking Wi-Fi on planes. Yeah, that's crazy.
There's like there's bathrooms. Not bathrooms, like showers. People are doing showers. People are doing all these things on plane, and the planes are developing themselves. And I just heard about them doing a plane that doesn't use fuel, or not fuel, but they're substituting it with something else. So they're making fuel without the gas,
like a natural resource.
Yeah. So they're doing a natural resource. I don't think they're doing an electric one, because I don't know how that would even be possible. But they are doing other things to make this fuel. So they're making the plane a better
making it more efficient.
More efficient. So that we are kind of fine tuning all these old things.
Right, and let's look at something that's more relatable to us, like video game consoles.
Yeah.
Consoles, like when you got that first Xbox, that big brick piece of shit, compared to an Xbox One X.
Rude as fuck, by the way.
An Xbox One X, which is like hundreds times more powerful. and like smaller and sleeker.
Yeah.
So
and people get more ideas that way. Cause so let's just say the Xbox, the very, very first one, it came out and the people who made it didn't really have like a grasp of what people thought, other than like maybe the reviews and maybe how many they sold. But there were like, I don't know how big Twitter is and like social media. Now they come up with the console and then people are tweeting about it. So they'll look and be like, oh, these guys didn't like this. It was just a tweet away. But back then, that first Xbox, they had no like feedback like they would do now. So with this exposure, with this feedback, they're also switching it up. They're doing a lot more things because now they have to fine tune it. So that's essentially what there's more fine tuning because there is more feedback, more exposure. With the first Xbox, let's just say they didn't have resources to find like, oh, this part would work good for the Xbox,
right?
Because they were just like in this little bubble. But now with the internet, maybe someone from like way the fuck over here is like, oh, this part would look good, would work great. This guy doesn't work here or anything. But now they have this new part that's gonna make it smaller and all that stuff. So it's all. I feel like it's all exposure. Now they have places to find what they need instead of. I don't know what they would do. But.
Yeah. And there will be other people there could be like, a person listening to this and making an argument thinking humans are becoming dumber, right? Because technology, I strongly disagree.
Well, you want to know why? Is because we are creating the technology that is becoming smarter than us.
Right.
Things like AI and whatnot. I mean, that's not made by itself, right? That's made primarily by humans making the things that make the AIs and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't think we're becoming dumber. I think we're becoming more efficient.
Yeah. And
our phones, we have, and this is going to sound so like I'm not, I don't care about the things that I have, right? Because having a phone is a very like privilege in its own. But I'm waiting for the day where I don't have to hold a phone anymore to do anything. I'm looking forward to the day where you can, like the Google glasses, right? The Google glasses were like a step in the right direction. Augmented reality is the future, like is the future, the closest future for us right now of what can we do to remove the device from our hand and only use our eyes and use more voice commands, because that in itself, again, will make humans more efficient.
Yeah.
And it'll allow us to do more things and be better in creating technology. So can you imagine like someone who's making robots, right? They have to go on a computer like every now and then to code and things like that. That's wasting time.
Yeah.
Because they have to go from building to coding. It'd be crazy one day to integrate it, right? They wear the like Microsoft lenses, right?
Yeah.
Those come out. And so he can now just code in midair. He's already excelling and making things better in the future because of this new technology.
What I think people don't understand and they don't realize about humans and the human race is out of the womb, we are natural born problem solvers. And that's what it ultimately is becoming is you say efficiency, which is also just problem solving in the grand scheme of things. It's how to make things easier and how to make things, I mean, it's down to the T, right? It's down to the little things. It's like, okay, we're eating something that is of the more a liquid consistency. What can we do to do it so we can move it now without it going everywhere? Oh, we make something like a bowl, right?
Yeah.
We solve a problem. Doesn't matter if it's small. We've always been solving problems,
right?
From small to big. That's just how we are, wired. That's how we are as people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting concept. I did find, and this was something you said, Manny, earlier, and I wanted to hit on it. So I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but So there's this guy on Twitter. His name is Marky Mark, I believe. He's a photographer, and not to be confused with Mark Wahlberg, Mac Wabbing. But he, you mentioned about the Xbox coming out when social media wasn't as big as it is now, And he talks about how he wants to prove that a photographer can make it without social media. Exactly.
All right.
I am interested. I don't know if he said, I'm not certain if he said he already did it and he's now popular and so it worked, or if he said he's going to try to take the it's not a large audience, it's a smaller audience, and try to become something massive without using his social media following. Boy, I don't know.
Because here's the problem. He would have to use resources like newspapers, magazines, things that are
right.
No one reads them anymore.
I think, and I hate to say it because social media is also a really pretty toxic place, and it's bad for, mental health, but that is how you run businesses. That's how you do it now. Anybody will tell you, any investor will tell you, you have to promote. What do they say? Are you running ads for your stuff? How do you run ads? Through social media. Everything will go back and funnel through social media. And as soon as he said that, I thought that as soon as you delete that app and as soon as you delete the rest of them, you will fall off.
Right. No one's going to know who you are.
Nobody will know who you are. And it's going to be, the problem too is you say newspapers and magazines, but those people want to see what you have too. Who's going to follow and who are you going to bring? Right. And if he goes, oh, well, no, I don't have any of those, they're going to go, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
I'll go with the other guy who's doing the same thing, but he can show me numbers.
Right. And finding him is more convenient.
Yeah,
I don't want to be like, how do I find you? Well, you can go to my website. I don't want to go to your fucking website, dude. I want to go to your Instagram and your Facebook page.
It's easier. And everybody has it. Everyone has it.
Yeah. See, so I think he could. It just would take longer. So the phones makes everything more efficient.
Yeah.
So he, like you guys said, he can go to like these magazines and they can post. He could
post billboards if he wanted to.
And he can post billboards. He can put it on, like, he could be on the front page of a magazine. Maybe his name won't be attached to everything, but he could probably be successful. He just won't have that, let's say,
the
fame.
recognition.
The recognition that he would get on like Twitter, that you would just see, people posting. So the name won't be there, but he could probably be pretty successful.
And then I thought about the biggest flaw in this whole experiment. How the fuck do I follow if it's working? How the hell do I know if he's actually going to be successful or not?
There's a magazine
I'm never going to hear from Marky Mark again when he's off social media.
Yeah.
And see, it might take longer too because, social media, it's super efficient.
Dude, I'm going to be driving through LA and I'm going to see a billboard and it's going to say Marky Mark, the first $1 million photographer who does it without social media. And I'm going to crash my car.
You stop your car in the traffic and just clap.
And I get out and I get on my roof and I just...
Marky Mark.
And I just start clapping and I'm like, he fucking did it, dude.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I hope that he can show that you can do it without it. However, I'm doubtful to the highest of extent that it won't work.
It'll take forever.
Because social media has changed the game in any aspect, whether it's for creatives, training, anything.
Oh, dude, anything. And investing and everything.
Forever.
Everything is all based off of that. Oh, yeah. It's a funnel. It's the funnel.
There's people that would do commercials on TV, obviously, and they stop that and they just promote on Twitter.
Dude, I cannot wait for a day where there are no commercials. However, I guess now the thing is just ads, which are commercials.
Are commercials.
But I guess we're just changing the name a bit and we're putting it on shows that you have to pay premiums for to get rid of the ads and shit. So I guess it's all the same. But I can't wait for a day when there's no more ads on television or on HBO or
I'm waiting for the day there's no more television. Like there's no more cable.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
How long do you think they'll take?
Oh, dude. It's happening. And I feel like with these shows, they're becoming movie length things. And at some point I feel like they'll say, fuck it, dude. Let's just make movies. Let's make movies and not do TV shows. And I mean, honestly, there's been a fall off. There's a lot less watch time for TV shows on regular cable and regular dish. Mm-hmm. As soon as Netflix and HBO became their hot shots, right? Where they had their originals. People are like, why do I got DirecTV or Dish now? They're putting out all these bullshit shows. I still got to watch commercials. I can go watch a movie length show that's going to be way better and not filtered for television audiences. And they're going to put on Friends. Yeah. So why the fuck they're going to put on The Office. Why do I need to go and watch on DirecTV or Dish anymore?
We're also just so greedy too, because we would have to wait a week
Yeah.
Like back then, like
we want it now.
Yeah, we just watched Zach and Cody. I gotta wait next week for a new episode.
To watch The Sweet Life on Deck?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah. But now, go on Netflix. I'm gonna watch the whole Sweet Life of Deck in a day.
Dude.
So you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
I think we're just greedy.
We're greedy and impatient. But I'm thankful for it because I want to consume content, and I am one of those people that I want to consume it now. I don't want to consume it for months to come.
Right.
I don't. I want to see it now.
Which could be a bad thing, but because there's no
I don't.
So let's say for the shows, like let's just use Game of Thrones for instance. We had anticipation like for every episode.
Right.
We didn't just go ahead and kill off these episodes. We waited. We're like, okay, so next week there was conversation. There was like all this hype about it instead of like just barreling through all the episodes in like a week.
But for Game of Thrones, when I watched the first season all the way up until the 6th, halfway through the 7th, wherever the hell, or no, all the way to the 7th. When I did it, I didn't feel like I had a loss of fulfillment. Right. I had in between those episodes to chat about it, and then I got to the next one. But my eagerness gets to me, and I don't want to wait. The waiting to me is a big old waste of time.
Yeah, and that's where I was gonna.
And the hand. No. And another thing that really gets to me about the waiting is you wait that long and it disappoints.
Right.
And then you literally waited that long to just be upset. I'd rather wait 5 minutes, get to the disappointment, and then say, oh, I didn't have to wait a week for this bullshit.
Right.
I just had to wait 5 minutes. So I don't know. I argue it's better to just have it all then and there. But
yeah, so for like a show, like I feel like binging shows. So like the Netflix model, right? They release the new season and the season's out.
Yeah.
You binge it in a day or two.
Yeah.
And in that, you're saving time, like total time.
Right.
Because you don't have to wait for that Saturday night and set that hour and a half aside to watch it or like record it and then find time later on to watch it, because that I feel like that's a lot more time being wasted. Like if you have like a lazy Saturday to sit down and like for yourself and just watch the whole show, and then you can continue on and you have no commitment next Saturday to watch anything.
See, that kind of ruins it for me. So like for Black Mirror, this new season came out. I don't know if you guys watched any of it.
I haven't watched it yet.
There's 3 episodes.
Right.
I watched one day and waited a couple days for the next one, and I still haven't watched this next one. The last one. So I have one more episode after this one. But I'm on Black Mirror binge. So like I didn't finish Black Mirror yet. I'm still like watching Black Mirror. I have those days where I'm like excited about it. Like, okay, this next episode looks really good, instead of, oh yeah, that episode was good, I already watched it all. Like I don't have that anticipation I don't know, a lot of my that's where my enjoyment would come to. So I'm like I said, I'm waiting for that episode, and I'm like having these thoughts like, oh, what could happen here? What could happen here? Instead of just finishing it all.
But I feel like I could condense all of that, what can happen here, into minutes.
Yeah,
and ultimately that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
You say like, oh, this happens here and there, and you're like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. Okay, it's over now. You already said what you think is gonna happen. There you go.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I love the anticipation.
I mean, you're ultimately wrong.
Obviously.
To piggyback on what
wrong.
Brandon said also about like not being like disappointed or like, you know, not waiting to be disappointed. That for me now is a big thing.
After Game of Thrones, it became
real apparent because when you're in like, so for me, I was on the season 5. I watched season 5 and so up till season 8. So that's 4 years of anticipation, right?
Bless all your
and
souls.
Now I'm pissed because the ending didn't reach a standard that I was, you know, expecting.
Right.
So, but if I had watched the show, like, big example, Nathan just watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Beginning to end.
Yeah.
And his question was, why do people hate it?
See, okay.
Because
they didn't invest that time.
He had no investment of time. So he was able to successfully watch content and be pleased with it without having any negative repercussions. Which is something, if I'm going to quote unquote invest time into something and get fulfillment out of it, I'd rather it be like that. And through ignorance of not being invested for a long period of time. And if I have the desire to go back and watch it, then I'm like, oh, this kind of sucked ass.
Did you binge Breaking Bad?
No. And that is one of the very few exceptions.
And is that not your favorite?
And I love that show.
So it pays off sometimes because you have that anticipation.
Every now and then.
Right.
And that's only one show.
I get it probably is like in a few where we do get satisfied with the ending. So I do agree with that.
Right.
Because then I want, like, when I do wait and I am disappointed. So maybe this Black Mirror episode probably sucks ass. And I
That sounds right. But you know what's interesting?
But there is that in between that I enjoy.
I could be a guinea pig for this Breaking Bad thing because you didn't binge it, so you had to wait for I haven't watched any of Breaking Bad, so when I do, I'm going to literally blow through it, and I wonder if I'm going to have the same like, oh, that was the best show I've ever seen, or if I'm going to be like, I mean, it was cool, but it's over and that's it. You know, I wonder if there's going to be like a less fulfilling factor for me than it is for you because you are, you know, but I mean, you know,
see, my favorite parts about that is like so let's just say halfway through the season, if you were to just be able to binge it, you wouldn't have those days of like, oh my god, he did this. What if in the next episode he's okay, or like what if he I don't want to give spoilers away, but let's just say this big traumatic.
You're like when they all die
in that big ass explosion. You have these thoughts of like, oh, what's gonna happen next? I think that adds to the fulfillment that he had too. So I think if he just binged it, he wouldn't have cared if so and so happened.
See, but then I argue I had the same exact feeling with Game of Thrones when I was binging
like in 2 minutes.
The end of the season would hit, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god! And then I sit there and I'm like, whoa, this could happen, and then I'm like, let's figure it out now. And I go and I watch it, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay, I was fucking wrong, or something like that. So, but I get, I'm not denying. There's two sides of the spectrum, and I'm sure there are people that are like, opinions. Oh fuck binging, like that sucks, and also like I don't have time to binge 9-10 hours Game of Thrones million. But there's always going to be those two sides of the spectrum. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I don't think you'll lose that that exciting like it factor for Breaking Bad because the writing is so damn good.
If it's good, it's good.
It's good because if it's good, no amount of time between episodes is going to affect the level of writing to make that episode any better.
Yeah.
If anything, you miss payoffs, like for your time, which doesn't matter, because that's a person by person case of I want to feel paid off for my time waiting,
right?
But you're not losing any time by watching the show from beginning to end.
So there's no negative, but
there's no negative. But there I without a doubt there's a positive for that show at least. And let me give you another example, Dexter. I loved Dexter up to season 4. I was completely fine waiting week to week for that show. But after season 4 up till season 8, I probably think I would have liked that show a little better if I was just given, if I could just watched it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I probably still would have hated it, but I probably wouldn't have hated it as much as I do.
I guess it does differ then.
Humans are so quirky.
Yeah, we're so QWERTY keyboard.
What?
Inside joke, man.
We're so QWERTY. He's talking about the keyboard layout.
Oh, that's stupid.
Which I never knew it was even called that in the first place.
The QWERTY keyboard?
Nah, all I was told is this is a keyboard and here's the home row that I never fucking use.
Oh, real quick on our topic of television.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Rick and Morty now for the first time.
Okay.
And you know how people I was going to be so upset if it didn't build up to the level of hype people are giving it due to its humor.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, it's the best show ever. One, I don't think there's no such thing as the best show ever.
No.
But people are like, it's so good, it's so funny, it's so smart.
But Boy Meets World is the best show ever.
So I'm
Love you, Topanga.
I'm on the second season right now.
Okay. Best show ever.
Dude, this show is pretty damn funny.
I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a ton of Rick and Morty.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And because the show is a lot of things I want to see in a cartoon, not necessarily in a regular TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But the cartoon is self-aware of what it is and what the writing can be and is. It's it understands its audience. Like after like halfway through,
it knows who it's targeting.
Who it's targeting.
And
it's targeting those people. This is who it's targeting, and I'm probably about to offend a bunch of people.
Oh God, we're gonna there's gonna be a bleep.
It's targeting the people who think they're smart for understanding the jokes that are given.
Oh, we just lost a lot of viewers. Jake.
What kind of humor is it? Because
it's a lot of like time travel, parallel universe, like alien space stuff.
Yeah,
but it's told in a way, it's so dumbed down that anybody can understand it.
Right. Okay. But
they still throw words like buzzwords in the show, like parallax, warping, things like that. And people are like, "Oh, I understand the show. I understand. I must be a scientist." Listen, you're not that smart. The show is just so well crafted that it makes you to believe that you understand the theories and the quote unquote science behind the show. The writing is just too good for its own good, and for the people that it panders to. So, I mean, and I'm not saying I'm like the smartest guy in the world, but I'm smart enough to acknowledge what the writing is.
That's cool, dude. I mean, nobody really asked for your opinion on Rick and Morty, and you probably can't even fucking define parallax. So
I can't.
Actually, no, I can't either.
I think a parallax is the distance between stars. No, is it? I don't know. Let me look it up.
Let's look it up. Let's fact check it. While you're fact checking, I can define a parallax photo.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No, I do know,
you
dude.
Don't remember my lines for our video?
Yes. It's when you take a photo and you turn it into a three-dimensional picture, moving picture with moving objects.
That's exactly what I said.
Parallax is a displacement or difference in the apparent position of an object viewed along two different lines of sight.
Oh, nice, dude. That's exactly what you said.
So the difference, like how stars are.
Like how stars are when I was saying like, because there's different
I know what you were saying.
So
dude,
I was right to an ignorant extent.
Dude, you literally defined yourself when you were talking shit about people watching Rick and Morty. Anyway, we're coming up to the portion of our podcast where we are now going to set goals to achieve by the time of the recording of the next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with mine because I don't think I started last time. So we'll mix it up a little bit. Earlier in the podcast, I mentioned how I wanted to just maybe communicate with people better, or just meet with people and with people I don't usually talk to is really what I'm referring to. So I guess I should set a number because it's kind of got to be like a goal I got to set. So I'm going to reach out to at least four different people, and I don't know, go and just talk over lunch or drinks or some shit. Just something to get me out there and communicating with people I don't usually communicate with. I think it'd be interesting, and you never know what you're gonna learn. So that's my goal. 4 people, just go and hang out with that I don't usually do. So it's
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what are your other ones that are?
So I need to do 8 gallons of water by the next podcast, and I need to shoot with 3 different models.
Oh, maybe. Okay, so maybe those models could be the people
that'd be kind of cool
that you reconnect with.
That's so cool.
Oh my God, that's so Cordy.
No, that's so Cordy keyboard. No, okay, I like that. If you guys allow me to do that, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's fine. You can double dip.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
We double dip here.
Okay.
Alpha Beta.
Yeah, we did. We make our own rules. That's the point of having the podcast. Right? Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Those are mine. Bye,
dude. I never think of these while we're.
I know, dude. I thought of that right on the spot.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I'm.
He's like, I'm gonna make it up right now. I'm gonna finish Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. Start talking like Morty. Not like the Rick. Sorry. Yeah. This guy
must be a big fucking fan over here, dude.
You're so smart.
He's wearing a shirt and he can't even name the fucking characters.
This is Jerry. My goal is to get started on promoting my business.
Okay, a tittle bit vague. So
photos.
Okay. Yeah.
Photos. A stupid video. because I hate.
Whoa, dude, it's not stupid.
It is.
It's gonna have the thing where the screen pumps, like it bumps out, and then it
bumps out, and it flips around. Every time you drop a weight, it shifts into a different thing. We know all the effects. We know what we're doing. But yeah, get a dumb workout video out there.
Okay.
And
you just have a great time.
Yeah, probably just those two for right now.
Okay. Yeah. Good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had a clean slate, huh? So that's it?
You have a clean slate.
Oh, damn. Yeah, nice. Well, we won't be helping you with the photos and videos, so you failed.
Yeah. So we're
gonna he's like, damn it.
Okay, so mine, the ones I already have now, is not eating out, and watching a movie every night. Oh God, those ones are still gonna.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm just gonna go out and watch it and not watch a movie.
you know, if you want to kind of, if you want to bend the rules because it's our fucking podcast,
right?
Maybe what we can do for yours is you can do, so essentially it's going to be a movie for every night, but you can do 2-3 movies in a day if you want it, and those will count for days you can't do it because you work every day until a certain time, and then you may have other obligations after that, like alienated, and that stuff, of course, can't knock you for doing, right? Yeah. So maybe if you allow that too, I think we're okay with you doing that. Dude, you're like, fuck it. You're about to do 7 movies in a day.
Yeah, I was gonna finish everything tomorrow.
No, but like you still did it, right? You still did a movie and
for every night.
Yeah. So
depend on whenever we record this next one. Yeah. Because we could record the next podcast next week or right before like this one.
Exactly.
So we're recording this one probably a day or two before we're releasing it. Yeah. Which would mean a lot more movies to have been watched.
Of course.
So compared to usual. Our producer's looking at me and he always makes me nervous because he's cute. Okay, and then
because he's cute.
My next one would be I just got a new portrait lens, 85, so I want to use it. Okay. So I want to try to get a decent amount of our close friends, and I want to do like a studio shoot. Okay. It doesn't have to all be the same one, but I want a studio shot of everyone with the new 85. Okay. Because then that'd be dope. Okay. So I don't know how many, but a decent amount of our,
which like, okay, friends. Okay, so what is your lowest? What is your lowest? Like what
2.
Is? He's like, well, you guys.
I'm gonna aim low.
I'm gonna aim low. No,
so my closest friend. So I'll probably do like either Austin and then Jacob.
Closest friends, Austin and Jacob. That's weird. I do.
Best friends.
My best friends, Austin and Jacob. Which
amazing.
Jacob is in here. He is our live studio audience.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yeah. No, but really, do you have like
set
a number that you at least want to obtain? You can do more, but don't do less. You're like, no, I'm my best friends.
No, just my best friends. Austin and Jacob. 10? No, I can't do 10.
10's a pretty good amount. That's a lot. Yeah.
Austin keeps saying 10, but he's probably referring to something else. No. Let's do 20. No. 6. I feel like 6 is a good number.
I thought you were going to go lower, so 6 is great.
No, 6 is, I think because I have a staple.
You have a stapler on you at all times.
I have a stapler on me. I have like a staple 3 or 4 that I could do. Okay. And then I have to find 2 more that are off. And
but that's at least 6. You could end up doing the 10. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. All right. Well, that's fun. This podcast is all about fun. So if you like fun, make sure to stick around. Yeah. Stop laughing at me, dude. That concludes this episode of the Alpha Beta Kappa podcast. This is our fifth episode. Holy wow, dude. Wow. We release bi-weekly. That is every 2 weeks for people who didn't finish school.
For people that like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, for people who like Rick and Morty. You can find us on Spotify, the podcast app, or YouTube. And you can follow us on Twitter at ABK_pod. And we will catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Later.